What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin Bies. I am a certified personal trainer and a fitness nutrition specialist, and I spent 13 and a half years in multi-level marketing, healed my way out, and now I like to think of myself as pissing off the grifters of the internet with facts that they're not willing to face. And today we are going to be looking at several somethings actually, that I found extremely concerning. I've got actually 3 videos. They're very short videos. I have a lot of commentary. I have a lot that I want to say today. But we're going to be reacting to medical professionals who are promoting products from Make Wellness. And you heard that right. And probably what you're feeling right now. Same. Imagine comparing a prescription GLP medication to an MLM product. I know, we see it all the time, and we're going to see it here today, and I have a lot to say about it. So if you're new here, welcome. I'm not laughing because you're new here. I'm laughing because where do I even start with Make Wellness? It's a multi-level marketing company that sells something that they call bioactive precision peptides. You'll see that kind of tagline, if you will, all over social media. And that's how you know that they're talking about Make Wellness. Or they'll say things like, with Make, they won't say Make Wellness. It's weird. Anyways, in these videos, we're going to hear claims like their peptides, specifically Make Wellness peptides, is boosting hormones. Don't even get me started on that. We'll get into it. Burning fat, preventing muscle loss, improving sleep, improving energy and sleep. Anyways, and improving metabolism. And these claims are coming from people who are presenting themselves as healthcare professionals. And I think it's alarming, and we're going to talk about it. So my goal is in these videos to do 3 things. First, we're going to listen to what they're saying. That seems pretty simple. Second, we're going to talk about it. We're going to break down what those claims actually line up with from what we know based on actual medical research. And third, we're going to talk about the ethical concerns when healthcare credentials are used to promote MLM supplements, because I think that's a problem. Okay, this is the first video. She's a pharmacist. Yep, let's watch it together.
So there's been a lot of buzz lately in the news and especially in the pharmacy world about this brand new Wegovy weight loss pill. And I wanted to hop on and just take a couple minutes to talk to you about the Wegovy pill and compare it to the oral bioactive precision peptides that I work with through Make Wellness. And honestly, it's like comparing apples to oranges. You might think that they're similar, but there are definitely a lot more differences between the two than similarities.
I'm going to pause her right there, because if they are completely different, why are we comparing them in the first place? Why are we comparing an MLM product to a GLP-1 medication that has to be prescribed by a doctor? Why are we even having this conversation? Oh, I'll tell you, it's because she wants to sell people, using the fact that she's a pharmacist, Make Wellness peptides. Yeah, that's what's happening. God, I hate it here.
So that Wegovy pill is a prescription product. You have to go to the doctor and get a prescription for it. And since it's synthetic and it's a GLP-1 peptide, it does have side effects. And I would say the most common side effects are GI related, nausea and constipation. Sometimes that constipation can be severe, but then also with the GLP-1 medications, you do see weight loss and appetite control, but sometimes the weight loss can be significant, and it's not just from fat breakdown. A lot of times you see a lot of muscle breakdown with the GLP-1 medications. And that being said, I have to say our Make Wellness peptides do not carry those same side effects and those same risks.
Right. Because it's not the same thing. They're not the same thing. Those GLP-1 medications have clinical trials and scientific evidence that the medications do what they say that they're supposed to do. They have evidence to show that this person knows how this works. And the fact that she's comparing these two is so deceptive and so unethical on so many levels. And I can't even believe that we're having this conversation here, that somebody that's a pharmacist got online and said, you know what? We're going to compare Make Wellness peptides to a GLP-1 medication as if they're even in the same ballpark. I can't.
They are all natural, made from plant and animal sources. In our lean peptide, our weight loss peptide from Make Wellness, particularly doesn't have the GI related side effects, nor does it cause muscle breakdown. So it's just a lot cleaner product. It's not a GLP-1 medication. It is a peptide, but it works differently. So you don't get those side effects. And honestly, all of our peptide products are very safe. They're clean. There are no artificial colors, flavors, sweeteners. They're all plant and animal-based peptides taken orally to help in a number of different ways. But our lean peptide, I would say, would be the one that would be closest to the Wegovy tablet. But we do offer a stack that includes that lean peptide, but all.
Never did I ever think that I would see a pharmacist selling a supplement stack while comparing it to a GLP-1 medication. I can't.
So a fit peptide to help you build and maintain your muscles, so that on top of the lean, which is creating weight loss through fat breakdown, you're also going to build your muscle with that fit peptide, increase your metabolism, boost your hormones, control inflammation, have better energy levels. So the lean and the fit pair really well together, especially if weight loss is your goal, because everybody wants to lose weight and build muscle so that basically their body is just like a fat burning machine.
I just had to pause her right here because these claims around boosting hormones and these metabolic benefits from Make Wellness are so wild. And the fact that it's coming from somebody that is a pharmacist, unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of people that think, wow, this sounds impressive. But the moment that you start asking very basic questions, which I hope people are doing, all of this seems to fall apart. The human body has over 50 hormones that have been identified so far. These hormones are produced by glands through the endocrine system and control a lot of critical functions that keep us alive and functioning every single day. Hormones regulate things like metabolism, reproduction, stress response, growth, sleep cycles, and blood sugar levels. They are incredibly powerful chemical messengers in the body, and they're very tightly regulated by our bodies. So when someone casually says drinking a drink mix or mixing up a drink mix or a supplement is going to boost your hormones, the very first question should be, in my opinion, which hormones? Are we talking about cortisol, insulin, estrogen, testosterone, thyroid hormones, growth hormone? Which hormones are we talking about being boosted? Because every single one of the hormones, of our hormones, has a completely different job. Specifically the ones that I just listed. They all have very different jobs. They're produced by different glands. They're controlled by different feedback loops, and altering them can have very different medical consequences. This is literally why endocrinology exists as a medical specialty. Doctors spend years studying hormones because changing hormone levels safely and appropriately is extremely complicated. So when I hear a broad claim like this product boosts your hormones, my next question is very simple. Which hormones specifically? And where are the human clinical studies showing that this product safely changes them? Because if a product truly altered hormone levels in the body in a meaningful way, it wouldn't be marketed like a supplement. It would be regulated like a drug, like a medication. I can't. You guys.
And then the trifecta, honestly, is our restored peptide, which you would think, well, why would a sleep peptide have anything to do with weight loss? But it helps with restorative sleep so that your body is able to rebuild itself. And it works by lowering cortisol levels so that you get better deep and REM sleep. And when your cortisol levels are under control, your body is not hanging on to that extra weight and that fat for dear life, and it's able to release it. So those are just a couple of the products that we have and a couple of the examples of why our products and our peptides are completely different from the oral Wegovy pill and the GLP-1 medications. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you.
Same, right? Okay. I couldn't imagine being a pharmacist knowing what she knows about science and evidence-based medicine and say, you know what, we're going to start by comparing the Wegovy pill that just came out recently, and we're going to compare it to Make Wellness, this MLM company's supplement. And oh wait, they're similar, but ours are better, meaning Make Wellness. And why are they better? Oh, because she's selling it and she's getting financial gain when she sells that to you using her pharmacy credentials. I can't. We can't even make this up. Now let's talk about another claim that came up in this video, the idea that GLP-1 medications cause muscle breakdown, but Make Wellness's peptides supposedly don't. This is another one of those statements that sounds very convincing if you don't have the full context. The full context matters here. Yes, during weight loss, it is possible to lose some lean mass. That can happen with GLP-1 medications, yes, but it can also happen with any weight loss intervention. Dieting can do that. Bariatric surgery can do that. Even traditional calorie deficits can do that. When someone loses weight, the body typically loses some fat mass and some lean mass. But the key question researchers look at it is this: how much of that weight loss is fat versus lean mass? And studies on medications like semaglutide consistently show that the majority of the weight loss is coming from fat mass and not muscle. The bigger issue is how someone is supporting their body during weight loss, because we know from the research that the best ways to preserve muscle while losing weight include things like adequate protein intake, resistance training, and regular physical activities. In other words, the exact things that people should be doing regardless of whether they're taking a medication or not to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So when I hear a claim that a supplement prevents muscle loss while medications supposedly cause it, I'm immediately wondering, where are the studies? Where are the studies on Make Wellness's peptides comparing these groups of individuals and these medications versus the supplement? Where are the randomized controlled trials comparing this peptide product to GLP-1 medications and measuring body composition at the same time? Because the medications being criticized here have gone through years of clinical research and FDA review. These peptide drink mixes have not. And this leads me into another claim that was made here that deserves some scrutiny. We hear that these peptides are natural, and that is one of the things that these MLM companies use, a natural GLP-1, a natural peptide, therefore making people think that it's cleaner or safer than prescription medications. But natural is not even a scientific safety category. Poison ivy is natural, arsenic is natural, hemlock is natural. Natural is a marketing term. It doesn't tell us anything about safety, dosage, effectiveness, or how something interacts with the body. What actually matters in medicine is evidence, clinical trials, dose response, safety monitoring, and long-term outcomes. And those are the kinds of studies that exist for prescription medications like GLP-1 medications. So if a company is claiming that their peptides are safer, they're cleaner, and work better than medications that have gone through years of clinical research, the obvious question becomes, where is the comparable evidence? Because extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and that's just lacking when it comes to Make Wellness. There's another phrase that I do want to point out. I talked about it a few minutes ago, but it's bioactive precision peptides. That shows up a lot, specifically with Make Wellness. And you'll notice that there's companies that use specific phrases. This is very, very much pointing to the person that you're seeing on social media being a part of Make Wellness. That's bioactive precision peptides. And I want to pause because it might sound kind of scientific, but the reality of this is that that phrase actually doesn't tell us very much. A peptide is simply a short chain of amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks of proteins, and peptides naturally occur in many foods that we eat every single day. So the word peptide by itself is not unusual. It's not exotic. It's not groundbreaking. It's nothing that innovative, if you will. So when companies add words like bioactive or precision, those words are meant to make the product sound even more advanced, or dare I say, more targeted. But those terms are not regulated scientific categories when it comes to supplements. It's marketing. That's all this is. Bioactive basically means something that has some type of effect on the body, but almost everything that we eat and drink has some sort of an effect on the body. Protein does, carbs do, fat does, even caffeine. So calling something bioactive does not automatically mean it has a meaningful clinical effect. And the word precision suggests that the product is targeting specific systems in the body. But again, that raises a very simple question. Where are the human clinical studies showing that? Because when something truly has a targeted biological effect in medicine, we test it. We measure outcomes, we measure safety, we measure dosing, and we measure how the body responds. So when I hear a phrase like bioactive precision peptides, my brain translates that into a much simpler question. What exactly does this product do in the body, and where's the evidence showing that? Because without that evidence, the phrase might sound impressive, but again, it's still marketing. And I do think that there's a real reason why we're seeing so many MLM companies suddenly talking about peptides, because right now peptides are trendy in the wellness and longevity space right now, if you will. I hate even calling it that, but I don't know what else to call it. You're hearing about them in things like anti-aging medicine, sports performance, metabolic health. And so when a topic becomes trendy in legitimate medical research, supplement companies often jump on with that same kind of language to hopefully sell their products. And MLM companies especially love ingredients that sound complex or cutting edge, because the more complicated the product sounds, the easier it is to convince people that it's something revolutionary. But the reality is that many of these MLM peptide products are simply combinations of amino acids or protein fragments that are being marketed with very big claims and very little clinical evidence. And when language like that gets paired with medical credentials, it can make marketing claims sound a lot more legitimate than the evidence actually supports. And that is where this gets dangerous. As if that first video was not infuriating enough, I had to think about that for a second. What word did I want to use there? I mean, I know what word I wanted to use there, but infuriating. That's the word I'm going to go with. As if that was not infuriating enough, next we have a dentist that is giving weight loss. I don't even want to ruin it for you guys. Let's just watch together and see what she says, and then I'll give you my commentary. Y'all are gonna riot.
I'm Dr. Amy Russo-Munger, a dentist in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I have just opened up a new branch of the dental practice, Smile Spa Wellness. My plan was to treat patients and help with holistic health and preventive care with synthetic peptides. But I was introduced to Make Wellness Company from a friend, and I jumped right in. I knew that having a natural way to also offer peptides was going to be a game changer. I've been in Make Wellness since the late August, and I've been able to offer this to lots of patients, and they're very happy with them, and they're working really well. So I want to continue doing that same thing, as pairing it with my synthetic, or offering just the make, or actually once they're on synthetic peptides, I can titrate their dose off and then put them on the lean, so that they don't feel like they're having that complete break, crash, and going back to their old habits and gaining the weight again.
Report her immediately. Where are my Louisiana friends? Report this individual immediately. Why would a dentist be giving advice on weight loss? That to me seems a little out of their scope of practice, out of her scope of practice. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. It just gets better. Hold on. I may have paused it too soon.
For the focus, younger people, college kids, and adults who are taking something for ADD, we want to wean them off of that as well and put them on focus. The Energize, if we can get people off energy drinks. I was one of them, so I'm not.
A dentist is weaning people with ADHD off of their medication that their MD prescribed them. What is happening?
Going to fuss about people, but if you really look at an energy drink, it is really not good for us. So if we can wean them off of those and put them on Energize, they're getting their vitamins and their minerals, their sea salts, they're getting all the things that we really need that we're not taking anyway, and still getting their energy boosts. So I feel like those are great. And then Restored is just out the box amazing. So for anyone who thinks they're sleeping well, you're not sleeping well enough. And that is going to help many people be able to purge from the lymphatic system, purge our brain, just detox at night, let our growth hormone increase, and our body just take care of us like God had made it to do. And we've just over time destroyed it with just environment in general and the stuff we put in our bodies. And then there's Fit. That's just a no-brainer to me. That is just a wonderful, wonderful product. The things that you look at what's in Fit just taking them each of the pieces out would be great to take alone. And now we have it all in one delicious drink. I tell people to take a hydrate with each one. I take a hydrate with my Energize in the morning, Fit pre-workout, and I take a hydrate with my Calm at night. So I am a 3 hydrate girl, and doctor recommended. Nothing is going to be better for our internal health, external.
I'm sorry, what? Did she just say doctor recommended to take electrolytes 2 times a day? She's a dentist. I'm not trying to downplay the importance of being a dentist, not by any means. I think you guys have been probably around my channel long enough to know that this is, in my opinion, way outside of her scope of practice. And I think this is where credentials of the people promoting these products really do matter, because when someone introduces, like she has, themselves as a doctor or a dentist or a pharmacist or another type of medical professional that carries a lot of weight with their audience, that individual has a sense of responsibility to not do stuff like this, because people assume that the information that they're sharing is grounded in evidence because they're throwing their credentials around. But credentials don't automatically make a claim accurate, and they definitely don't mean that that person is ethical, in my opinion. They definitely do not change the scientific standards that apply to health products either. So when medical professionals start promoting supplements with sweeping claims about hormones, metabolism, inflammation, weight loss, sleep, and muscle growth without citing clinical evidence, I think it's fair to ask some hard questions. And this brings us to something that I personally find concerning in this video in particular. She says that she's a dentist, and she explains that she's now offering these peptide products to her patients. Dentists are licensed healthcare professionals whose training focuses on oral health, dentistry, and conditions related to the mouth and the jaw. That is their scope of practice. But in this video, we're hearing claims about treating things like weight loss, inflammation, hormones, sleep, energy, and even helping people come off of medications for things like attention disorders. What? Those are systemic medical issues that normally fall under fields like primary care, endocrinology, psychiatry, or internal medicine. And when healthcare professionals start recommending products outside of their area of expertise, especially products that they may also, and in my opinion, are financially benefiting from, it raises some important ethical questions, because patients trust their healthcare providers. When a doctor or a dentist recommends something, many people assume that that recommendation, their recommendation, is based on strong scientific evidence. But if the product being recommended is an MLM supplement with little or no clinical research behind it, that trust can easily be misplaced. And in my opinion, I think that's what's happening here. Let's see what else she has to say.
Glow, body functions, mind functions. We need these things to help us in this world environment. It's tough to stay healthy, but wellness products are a game changer and they're going to be here for a long time. And we're just lucky that we found them and that I found them for my patients. This company is working hard to up their game, be at the forefront of peptides, because it is the newest thing in medicine. Everybody's talking about it, and it's all about education. I'm always educating myself, and I always tell my patients to do your due diligence and make sure this is something that fits in your budget and fits with your beliefs. But overall, it's definitely a game changer in medicine, and I'm happy to be involved with Make Wellness.
If it were a game changer, do y'all think, a game changer specifically in medicine, do y'all think for 1 second it would be rolled out through an MLM company? Or do you think there would be human clinical trials and actual sound scientific evidence to show that the products do anything through, I don't know, a pharmaceutical company? Because I think a pharmaceutical company would roll it out. This is so sketchy. This is so unethical. And I really do think that this is where the MLM business model also needs to be brought up in this conversation, because MLM companies rely heavily on personal networks and trusted relationships to sell products. And if you think about it, that's why oftentimes we'll hear people telling their stories and sharing their testimonials on the products, because that is what is used to emotionally manipulate their audience, unfortunately, in order to sell or recruit those people. Typically, it goes something like this. Friends recommend them to other friends, family members recommend it to other family members, and sometimes healthcare providers recommend them to their patients, which is what we're seeing here. The fact that this individual is offering injectable peptides and is saying, hey, let's pair it with Make Wellness's peptides as a, I think she said, holistic way to treat her patients as a dentist. I cannot get over that, you guys. I think it's also important to point out that when financial incentives are involved, it becomes important to separate medical advice from product marketing. And we're just not seeing that here. It's actually being woven in as the pitch. And I think that is so disgusting because patients deserve recommendations that are based on solid evidence and their individual medical needs, not recommendations tied to a compensation plan for a supplement. And an MLM company, I cannot. If these products truly boosted hormones, burned fat, built muscle, improved sleep, bettered your energy, and reduced inflammation all at once, it would not be an MLM supplement. It honestly, I feel like, would be one of the most incredible medical breakthroughs in modern history. And those kinds of breakthroughs come with scientific evidence and not just testimonials. The amount of breaks, you guys, that I have had to take in filming this video because this kind of stuff infuriates me. I just feel like I need to tell you guys that. Please don't fall for this stuff. Please ask questions. Please protect yourself and don't get scammed, and always stay skeptical. If somebody is leading with, I'm a dentist or I'm a pharmacist, so here's a product that you should take, and by the way, I'm making a commission when you buy the product, oh, and they try to recruit you, that should be a red flag. It's so unethical, it's so wrong, and none of it is backed up by any kind of clinical evidence, especially if we're talking about MLM supplements, especially if we're talking about Make Wellness, please. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. If you loved today's video, if you would drop me a comment, make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel. It's the free way to support my channel, and share it out. If somebody's trying to recruit you into Make Wellness, send them this video or my Make Wellness playlist. It's linked below. Anyways, thanks for being here. I'm going to go, I don't know, decompress for a second because this kind of stuff really pisses me off. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.